To be honest, on Datatrack, it's very, very simple. You go to a works order, you run one report, you can see a documents facility as well. It's all there presented together. Gives the auditor great confidence that it's all fully traced. Check 2 or 3 jobs, they'll find everything they need to.
Technical Corner today, I'm with Geoff from PSL Datatrack. I love making components, I love getting billets on the machine. Some of the sort of less interesting stuff we say, accreditation, getting out data. How does your software help me get through all that murky paperwork?
Okay, so regardless of what accreditation level you've got, you need to provide core traceability, which is what the system's very strong at. So whether it's a material traceability, which suppliers you've used, the certs for the processes that have been performed, who's done the job, who's worked on the job on the shop floor, which machines we use, which gauges you've used to measure the components. It's all part and parcel of the traceability bundle, if you like, that you need to produce as a fundamental part of that traceability that backs up the fact you can get that accreditation.
You've listed a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of information. Is it difficult? Or is it easy to get that information into the system? There's a lot going on.
To be honest, all those different steps are things you have to do in the day-to-day business anyway. You've got to use a gauge to measure a component. You've got to receive material. You've got the paperwork that comes in. So by performing those functions in the system, scanning documents where you need to, updating the system with the fact you've taken a gauge out, just do what you need to as you run through the business, and then you can report on it.
Nice and simple. Okay, I've got the auditors coming in next week. I'm full of trepidation because it takes me a day, 2 days, 3 days because we're a big company. Can you alleviate that pain?
Well, certainly. So what happens very often, so auditors are there to, let's face it, they're there to spot check, making sure that things are being done as they should be. So if you've got everything, you've got to go to filing cabinet, you've got to hunt through paperwork and so on, it all consumes time. To be honest, on Datatrack, it's very, very simple. You go to a works order, you run one report, you can see a documents facility as well. It's all there presented together. Gives the auditor great confidence that it's all fully traced. Check 2 or 3 jobs, they'll find everything they need to.
Okay, and I could store all that relevant information like the drawings, etc., the works orders, they're all in that whole system?
They certainly are. So drawings, for example, you can prove how you make sure that you wouldn't make a job to the wrong issue. It's all traced and controlled by the system, so it's not just the material traceability. Making sure commercially you're doing the right thing. Okay,
now 2 great examples. One of your customers was going to expand their machine shop, but not for a machine.
No, they were looking at extending the factory for storage of documentation, so they were keeping documents for, I can't remember how many years it was, but they were running out of space. And they'd actually got as far as doing, I think, tentative plans, and they were chatting it through with the auditor, who said, well, you could do that, fine, but to be honest, if I ask you to find the papers for that job from 4 years ago, in that room, you'll never find it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Scan it, put it on the system. I know then that you go to the works order, click a button, and you'll be able to give me the information far, far better.
And I'm assuming these orders are all comfortable with that process.
The feedback certainly I've heard over the last few years since I got that comment, to be honest, yeah, they're all working on the same basis. I think now with what's happened in the last few years, I think there's more expectation that there's more digital recording of data.
Ultimately then, you're taking the pain out of audit and all that audit trail and filing and things like that, everybody's absolute favourite. But a great example was Adam at G23, because he's got your system. He wasn't accredited at the time though. What happened there?
I believe what happened, I think the ISO consultant they were using suggested they had a look at Datatrack because they were looking for a system at the time. They consequently got in contact with us, we showed them the system and they felt it was the right fit for their business, and it's proven to be.
There you go, so helping with accreditation, streamlining the processes, and whoever that consultant is, we need to say a big thank you to them, and also Adam at G23 for saying what a great system. Geoff, thank you very much.
Thank you.